Hello, hello, my friend. Welcome to this episode of Living in Sync. I am your host, Joelle Cease, and I am going to be talking about today my favorite things of this year. I tried really, really hard to make this like a top 10 list, and I couldn't think of 10 things. So I have seven. These are not necessarily things that you can go buy or links to things because we all know that we've been spending so much already this season. But these are just really intentional things that have been my favorite in 2025. And they'd be the first one is really something I get asked about a lot. And this is definitely our best purchase of 2025, and that is our sauna. We love that thing. We use it at least 3 days a week, sometimes four, sometimes two, but at minimum, we are using it 2 days a week, whether it's myself or my husband. And this was something that we did not purchase on impulse. This is something that I get asked about all the time. And we've been looking for a sauna for years and years and years. Then one day when my husband was eating dinner and why he was scrolling his phone while eating dinner, I don't really know. This was probably in like May. He saw on Facebook Marketplace this sauna that he was like, I have to go look at this right now. Like if I don't go look at it and snag it for this price, somebody else is going to snatch it. So he went and he met with the people. Long story short, we got our sauna in May of 2025, and it has been the absolute best. And like I said, it was not a random purchase for us. It was something that we had been looking at for years and years and years. And the main question I get about it is how much was it? Is it traditional or is it infrared? And the details about it like that. So, like I said, Sean got it for a Facebook Marketplace score. This means it was less than $2,000. The people really didn't know how much they were selling it for or what it was actually worth versus what they were selling it for. It was just taking space in somebody's garage. They wanted to get it out of there. And it is both a infrared and a traditional sauna. Now we use the traditional more than anything. We tried the infrared panels a couple of times and we did not like it. So we used traditional, and just based off of you know, the research that has been around for a long time about saunas is from the traditional Scandinavian type saunas. Infrared, to me, like, still really good. There was this 2 years ago, I was going to Hotworks, and those are infrared saunas. And, like, whatever is your preference or your budget or whatnot, what have you. But I would say definitely, like, we wouldn't be as happy with it if it was solely a infrared. We really like the traditional. And so much so that when we build our next house, we already know that we are going to build in a sauna to our master bath, because just to have it in there, go walk right into our shower and have it be really, really convenient to use. That's our plan. But so I asked my husband about the details of it just because I get asked. So ours is a Hallmark 44. That's the comparable brand to what we have right now is a Hallmark 44. Technically on the panel it says that it is called Sauna Logic, and it can do both infrared and traditional, but we definitely prefer the traditional. And we both sit in it to up to 30 minutes per session. I tend to start it, get it up to about 150 degrees, and then I get in there while it's around that temperature, and then it continues to heat up. And then most of the time my husband will get in after me, and he likes it set beyond 160 or around 160 or above if we can get ours up to that. And that is the first best purchase of this year. If you have been thinking about it, like really take your time to make a well thought out decision. There was a couple times where we almost pulled the trigger on certain ones that were portable or certain ones that were smaller. And I'm just glad that we waited until we found the one that we did. And if you have a Facebook Marketplace husband, like, seriously, don't forget about Facebook Marketplace. The second favorite purchase of the year was golf clubs. Now, I did not use these as much as I would have wanted to, but getting them was a start of a spark of something that I really want to learn, get better at, and have it be something we do as a family and together. So I received my golf clubs for Mother's Day. My husband and I went out on a golf date on our 10-year anniversary. And then throughout the summer, we kind of putzed around, went to the driving range, where we go to the driving range also has a couple practice holes. So we were kind of just dinking around. Sometimes we busted them out in the yard. And really, I just started to see myself, my husband, and my boys like, this is definitely something we can do together as a family. This is something that, when we go travel, we could visit different golf courses. I know for me, actually, one of mine is out in Western North Dakota in Medora. I would love to, when the kids are older, do the Medora stuff. Actually, we went out to Bismarck, North Dakota. What started the Medora obsession? Not that you guys need to know this, but sometimes you enjoy a good side tangent. When we went to Bismarck, North Dakota, we ended up going to this museum, and there was a room exhibit, and it was talking about Medora, the person, the woman. She's iconic. She has an amazing story. As we were walking around the exhibit, I was like, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I didn't know this. Seriously, I wish Taylor Sheridan would make a TV series about Medora because she's so badass that it would make a much better storyline than Landman. Like, don't even get me started on Taylor Sheridan. Anyways, that made me think like, oh, when the kids are a little bit older, go out to Medora, do the Medora things, hiking, and then they have a beautiful golf course out there. I've heard. I don't really know. This third one I'm going to link you is these sports bras. So this year, and probably that's coming up. These sports bras. Why I like these sports bras is because I would say they are medium to high support. I wear these during running, or cardio, whether I'm running or spinning or kickboxing or doing any type of cardio, but they're also comfortable enough and lift up the ladies, if you know what I mean. Like, if you really do a good job at putting this sports bra on in the right way, like, you're going to feel like your tatas have gotten a little lift that you didn't surgically pay for, if you know what I'm saying. So I wanted to link this sports bra because I've slowly been getting rid of all the sports bras that I do not like and replacing them with this brand. And it's one that I get on Amazon. Actually, as I'm talking about it right now, I don't know the name of the brand, but I will just link it for you in the show notes, which leads me to my fourth favorite thing of this year, which was getting back into running again. So this has really been a game changer for me because it's really got my mindset thinking out of the box in many ways. Number one, I've really realized and recognized like the fitness industry has demonized cardio, and I'm not here for it anymore. There are so many benefits to doing cardiovascular activity, and running truly has helped my mental and emotional health. I started my running journey or getting back to running in January, and January all through the end of May, I was consistently prioritizing cardio. Yes, I was still strength training and stretching and mobility and flexibility and neat movement, but my mental health and my mood and energy emotion through those 5 months were so great. And then I started noticing like a decline in my mental health come summer and into the fall. But then once I started to bring cardio back in again, I'm like, there is just nothing like this feeling. And I know I'm going to have more episodes coming out about this in the future, but I'm going to recommend time and time again the book, The Joy of Movement, because there is so much science around like the benefits of cardio. And right now on social media and health gurus, they're saying this spikes your cortisol, this spikes your cortisol. Yes, exercise of any kind spikes your cortisol. But then once you've been doing it for a while, like, you're moving past that initial cortisol spike, and then comes endorphins and good feelings and like it's a good release of cortisol. Cortisol is not just bad. And before I go off on that tangent, I'll just stop myself there. But running really was so beneficial to me. As you guys know, I only trained for a 10K, and I still stand by so much that training for something like a 5K or a 10K is a really great place to start, because so many times I see people go for a half marathon or a full marathon. And then after, either they get completely defeated by the journey and don't finish it out, which means they're inconsistent, or it leads to burnout. And then after the race, they have to take a long break from it and then don't want to pick it back up again because picking it back up again seems like a big, daunting defeat. I am a big, big, big time believer that in health and fitness, consistency is greater than anything else. The analogy that comes to mind when I say this is watering a plant. Like splashing a bucket of water on a baby plant is going to do nothing for it. And it actually might harm it a lot. But slow, consistent, little bit every single day watering is going to help that plant nourish and grow and become stronger and not suffocate it and literally drown it. So apply that same aspect to your health and fitness in 2025. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy January's episodes coming out. If that's really you want to kind of get an insight to really how my philosophy around fitness has changed. With running, I really found it so good to use the Strava app. I just have the free version. I have all of my settings on private because I am a psycho like that, and I don't want there to be any visuals of where I run and when I run and all of those things. But I do like how the Strava app gives me the information and analytics. That way I can really pay attention to how I'm improving. Okay. This next thing this came out of nowhere because I am not the type of person that goes shopping for deals. I'm not the kind of person that needs to buy things on sale. But this fifth thing is thrift store shopping, specifically in home decor and furniture. So it's been notorious knowing that I don't like putting holes in my walls. We built our house in 2017, we moved in. And since it was our build, I mean, I just loved like the nice, clean, crisp, new walls, as silly as that sounds. And so for many, many, many years, I didn't put things on our walls just because I was like, oh, I just don't want to like put things on our walls because it seems like it's more clutter. I don't want to put things on our walls because just to buy something to put on our walls. But a few years later, I'm like, okay, now I'm wanting to like put pieces in certain spots. And I also heard from a decorator on TikTok that you really kind of want to go towards bigger pieces instead of a bunch of smaller pieces or gallery walls or that. And I was like, okay, to me, that makes sense to be more of like my style and keeping it really kind of simple with putting things on the wall. But boy, is new stuff so expensive, so expensive. And for whatever reason on Pinterest, I should have added this to my list. I'm going to add it as a bonus. Pinterest has been one of my favorite things of 2025. I've been getting myself back on Pinterest, really looking at, it's really a low stimulation of social media. And I created a Pinterest board called Grandma Aesthetic. So I was pinning a lot of things that really looked like your cozy comfort grandma household. And I think that just led me to being on the side of thrift store shopping and thrift hauls on TikTok. And I stumbled across a creator that was like, this is what I found at the thrift store today. And she had these big, beautiful wall pieces, and all of them were insanely affordable. I would like, my jaw dropped. And I'm like, okay, but I don't live in a place like that. There's not really going to be good stuff at our thrift stores. And I was like, wait a minute. How do I not know? And then I was actually talking to one of my cousins about this, and she had said too, like, why don't you check out thrift stores? Like, people are getting rid of their decor all the time, and they always just think to put it in a thrift store. And I went there one day when I was just like, okay, I've got the time. I'm here. Like, let's just go check it out. And I bought 4 pieces that I love, 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 love. They're already hanging and they're so beautiful. They're grandma aesthetic, and I'm so proud of them. Each of them, none of them was over $10 a piece. Like, a lot of them were $9.99 or $7.99. And now I love being on TikTok, and if somebody's like, "Here's my thrift haul," I'm sat. I am so sat. I even found later on a couple vintage Christmas decor pieces that I was like, "These are so beautiful and iconic." And actually, my 7-year-old for a long time really wanted a Santa Claus stuffed animal. And we were at the thrift store, and there was one there for $2, and it was one of those expensive vintage Herberger's Santa Clauses with the silver bell that ring like jingle bell. He loves it so much. $2 at the thrift store, my friends. So thrifting was number 5. Bonus number 6 was Pinterest. Like, this year in 2025, I created a Pinterest board that was for grandma aesthetic, which was, I told you guys about. I created Pinterest boards for my seasons of style. So, like, my 2025 fall style board was on there. And oftentimes when I'm making a style board, I'm thinking of the things that I already have, and I'll put in, outfits, green sweater outfits, denim shirt outfits for fall. And I pin things based off of like what I realistically have in my closet. Quotes, a lot of what I shared on social media, Instagram stories in particular, were quotes from Pinterest. Food, so I would search on Pinterest like whole foods diet, and I would just get a slew of really amazing, delicious whole food meals that inspired me to eat in that way, because I know the more whole foods that I eat, the less I struggle with cravings, the less that I struggle with, all the things. And I get ideas that way. It's kind of like, probably in 2024, I was following food content creators that were like, this is my Jimmy John's order. This is my Jersey Mike's order. This is my Taco Bell order. Well, guess what? It was making me want fast food all the time in 2024. And then in 2025, I'm like, okay, I'm going to curate this Whole Foods feed so it serves me more of it. Therefore, I want more of it. So I had very intentional Pinterest boards in 2025, and I'm going to do that again in 2026. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the app Lose It. So it's an orange icon, and it's LOSE IT. Lose It. And that is the food tracking app that I use majority of this year to track my calories, make sure I was getting in enough protein, and really gave me the hindsight and awareness of, girl, you're just eating too much. And I've really enjoyed that app. I did upgrade it, and I got the premium version. So if some of these features that I talk about aren't available in the free version, that's why. I'm sorry. I used the free version for a really long time, but I like that you can still scan things, because in MyFitnessPal, if you have the free version, you can't scan things. They do have this AI feature that if you take a picture of your plate or your food, it will give a rough guesstimate of like what the calorie count or macros are of it. Now, that wasn't always accurate, and I know it wasn't always accurate, but it really did help me that, like, if we were at a potluck or something like that, I would just take a picture of my plate, and whether it was there or at another time, because I'm not that crazy particular in tracking to do it while I'm at the table with like family members or a group of friends, but I would upload it later. And that way I still just kind of got a well-rounded amount of what I was consuming each day. And that was really helpful. I really liked that feature. Like I said, it's not always the most accurate, but it is really nice when you're just like, okay, I have this plate of food. I'm going to take a picture of it and just kind of get a rough estimate of what it is. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is my paper planner. And I am going to link for you guys the paper planner that I am talking about. I've used it this is my 5th one. So this will be my 5th year, obviously, using it. And it is the Horacio Printing Dream Planner. And you guys, the layout of this, they do have a day planner now, actually. So you want to take their quiz on which planner would be right for you. So it's not that the weekly layout is anything incredible or fancy. A lot of what makes this planner special is what I talked about in the last episode, where it's the things that I do to stay intentional and stay on track with my goals and my intentions. Because the weekly layout for me, I believe this is called the vertical layout, where on the left side of the page is like a running to-do list, and that's where I put my to-dos for the week. So my client work, the things I want to get done around the house, is there anything kids wise? And then on the right side is the week layout, where it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you can see this in a glimpse. There's no timestamps. They do have one on that. So I do recommend like taking their quiz and seeing what planner would be the right fit for you. This is high quality planner. So like the cover is hard. The coils are high quality. The paper is high quality. But what I really love about this planner and how you need to use it is the beginning of it. There is a little video series to walk you through setting up the planner. And this year, I loved so much how this was different than other years. One, because it felt more efficient, and two, it felt so concrete. And so we first start off as faith-based. So you're going to start off in prayer, and then you're going to do a 2026 dream board, and then you're going to go into thinking about each quarter, and you do this quarterly. There is a quarterly reflection for you to rate yourself in each area of your life, and then you just very short and realistically write out, why did you give yourself that rating? And then you brainstorm in each of those areas, what is something you could do to improve upon that? And then she has you circle certain things. And then I loved this. This was the first year that it did this. There's one step further, and had you write out like an affirmation of that certain area of your life. So let's say you fill out the entire wheel. This is just an example. But you fill out the entire wheel and you give yourself a low score, let's say in finances. The only reason why I'm using this is because it's super, super easy to verbally share how this process would work. So you're thinking Q1. So you're thinking January to March, okay? And you give yourself a rating of where that area in your life is now. The lowest one you rated yourself was finances. And when you reflected, you're like, why did I give myself the lowest rating in finances? Well, because I don't feel like we have enough in savings. So then your one action would be every Friday, I'm going to put something into savings. And whether it's $10 or $10,000, like it doesn't matter. And then your affirmation is, I am saving every single Friday, or I'm putting money into savings every single Friday to grow my savings account. So that would be concrete. And then you would have to be the one to be disciplined to put this into your planner. And on Friday, write down, put money into savings, and then you do the dang thing, right? And that's one where it's another easy one is like if you rate yourself low in spirituality, and you're like, oh, I know that I need to start doing my Bible study. Okay, so you're like, okay, so I rated myself low in spirituality. I want to start doing a Bible study. Oh my gosh, how amazing. My church has a Bible study once a week that I can go to. This gets me out into community. This holds me accountable to going because other people are going to be there. And then once you've established the habit, you can improve upon it. Like, I don't have to have the commitment of a Bible study to study my Bible because I've laid down and established that habit. Now I just know, like, it is something that I do innately. And over time, as you keep doing these quarterly reflections, you emphasize the areas where you rate yourself lower, and then you also have these really streamlined systems that work in place in your favor and supporting you. And then also another reason why I love this planner is because at the end of the month, there's a praise report. Now, once again, you have to be disciplined enough to open up and turn the page. And when you see praise report, you're like, whether it takes me 2 minutes or I don't think I've ever spent 20 minutes, but 2 minutes or 10 minutes on writing down a monthly praise report, I'm going to first flip back in the last 4 pages, because that would be the whole month, and look at what were the things that went really well this month. I hit all of my workouts. I went on a date night with my husband. It was my son's birthday and we had a party for him. My kids finished up football, whatever it is, you're writing down the praise report. Sometimes I'll pop out my camera roll and I'll look through some photos. Like, if I wouldn't have did that, I wouldn't have wrote down, like, celebrated my grandma's 95th birthday in 2025, because it's like that happened in April. That kind of stuff just slips your mind when you're trying to reflect on how 2025 went in December, right? And I remembered and recollected, and now this beautiful planner, I've kept all my other 4. Now this beautiful planner is kind of like a time capsule. It's a time capsule of how I spent my days. It's a time capsule of me being a good steward of what God has given me. And that's what I'm going to end you on. Is I know this time of year people are like thinking of big goals and big dreams and everything, and I believe God wants us to dream big. And also, I think we get there by being content with what we have now and stewarding it well. And not just being content with what we have right now, but being grateful. So I know, and this came through when I was doing my 2026 planner, I was thinking of Q1, because I am so open and receptive for God keeping me on the path I'm on, but also if a curveball happens and I do something entirely different that doesn't make sense, I know it's going to be God working in me because I'm open to it. I love what I do. I love how my days are now. And also, I'm okay if God changes things up on me. And we'll see how that plays out in 2026. But I seriously felt from God telling me that in Q1 of this year, Q1 of 2026, be grateful and serve well what is right in front of me. And truly just like stay in that mindset. Because if I am grateful and I steward well what I have in front of me right now, that's how I become trusted by God for more. And I do believe there is more for me in life. I do not think I can get there by not being grateful, not being content with what I have now, and stewarding it well. And that goes for, and makes me think of really, like, obviously what's right in front of us right now is our home. Take care of your home. Truly, I'm sorry. Like, and it's not even that I'm praying for a new home. I love our home. I don't want to move. That seems like way too tiring to me. But what I'm saying is like, when I clean my house and I have cleaning systems, and sometimes I'm like, all I do is clean this, and all I do is I'm doing it with a grateful heart instead. And the reason why we keep a clean home is because we are taking care of and stewarding what God gave us. That means the money that we have right now, both in personal and business finances. my kids, obviously, and my clients, serving the clients that I have well right now. That is my business plan for Q1. My business plan for Q1 is to be so grateful and thankful for the clients that I have right now, because I have 5 amazing clients right now, and steward them well. Work really diligently to do a good job. But that comes after serving and stewarding in my home, my marriage, my kids, and taking care of myself. Like right now, that is a really big priority. When I've been scrolling on Pinterest, that has been popping up too, where it's like, if you don't know where to go, if you don't know really what direction you're going in, start really taking care of yourself. And that doesn't mean like getting skinny or losing 20 pounds or whatever it is. That truly means like working on you, working on your mindset, working on becoming a positive person, working on becoming more resilient, working on being strong physically, mentally, and emotionally, working on emotional intelligence, which come from the fruit of the spirit, like truly, truly. And that is what I want to leave with you today. Don't think you have to make these big grandiose plans for 2026. Now, I will say like there's definitely income goals and certain things that I'm like, "Oh, by the end of 2026, I'd really like to be right here," but take it one quarter at a time. And if you're like, "I really don't know what I want to go after and achieve this quarter," I want you to really sit with and think about and pray like, God, what are the things that you have in front of me right now? And how can I be a better steward? Because maybe for you, you're like, oh, I steward my home and my kids so well, but I've dropped the ball on my personal health or my personal self-care, my personal appearance. Maybe, and not even, that doesn't even have to be a vanity metric. That really is just like, oh, that could be where God shows you, like, hey, you're not taking care of you. You're my daughter. You are the vessel that I will do great things through. You've got to take care of yourself. Or for some, maybe it's like, okay, I know we're talking about this at the end of the holidays. It's like, how if your finances, your money is not in order, that is something God has entrusted you with. Maybe you need to develop some better systems for saving or for paying off debt, whatever it is, where you're like, we've got to focus on this because we need to be better stewards in this area. I can't answer which area God's going to speak to you and through you. Just sit with that prayer like, God, what? Like, truly thank Him for all of the blessings in your life and ask Him to reveal to you which ones to really emphasize and steward well in this next season, in this next quarter. All right, my friends, this was a fun episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you want to, please come on over to Instagram, connect with me, share with me what was your favorite thing of 2025. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.